Hi, everybody. I'm Joan Dwyer, the founder and creator of All That Matters. And All That Matters has been holding space for 25 years for people to be more awake, more healthy, more bright. And now we're at a time where we all need all the wisdom that yoga has offered us. As a reminder, we do yoga on the mat, so when the life off of the mat gets challenging, we have a practice. I want to remind you that now is the time to not let go of your practices, whatever they are. If your practice is to sit and have a cup of coffee quietly and read the paper in the morning and that makes you happy, that's your practice. If your practice is yoga, if your practice is eating well, if your practice is, you go to visit your chiropractor, your massage therapist, whatever your practices are, do not let go of them at this time. Let's remember that our work right now is to stay sane in a time of insanity. One of the things that I happen to know a lot of and have studied a lot about in the last 40 years is diet. And what we eat does affect how we feel mentally and emotionally. And so at this time of high stress, I wanted to give you a few suggestions on how to keep your diet clean, because it's so easy to stress eat. Like, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm going to move into unconscious, and that, pile of cookies looks good. And how did that cookie jar disappear in 12 seconds? That's stress eating, and that stress eating doesn't really support your nervous system. So how do we avoid it? I think consciousness will help you avoid it. Kind of facing your stress, dealing, breath work, which we just did some videos on breath work for you guys. But let's talk about actually the food that comes into your body. There's a lot of information about how sugar can make us paranoid, fearful, hyper, overwhelmed. So all sweet, let's move to having sweet come from fruits. So if you have a sweet tooth, can you have an apple and peanut butter? Can you put some fresh maple syrup on top of the peanut butter? What can you do to get away from refined sugars or excess sugar? Your nervous system will pay you back in spades. The next thing during this time of potential virus coming your way is your lungs. You want to keep your lungs really, really healthy and bright. And breath work is one way to do them, but also the thing that causes the most congestion, and for everybody, their body creates, congestion is excess mucus, and everybody's body creates excess mucus for different reasons. But the top three reasons why we create mucus, and our lungs are more hollow, so it stores it in there, and our sinuses are more hollow, so it stores in there. The top three reasons that we create more mucus are things that we might be allergic to. So if you're allergic to things even subtly, whether it's gluten, these are the things that people tend to be allergic to, like gluten. Some people are allergic to nuts, some people are allergic to tuna. If be aware of the foods that don't react. If you sneeze right away when you're eating a food, or afterwards you don't feel well, these are foods that don't support your system. But dairy is one that is very hard to digest for many, and we tend to eat it in higher volumes, and our body doesn't do it, so it will store it as mucus. And mucus becomes the petri dish for holding infection. So cut back on the ice cream. Cut back on the cheese. I know I'm taking away all your comfort foods by saying no sugar, no dairy. I know, but just move in that direction in any graceful way, and know what you're going to replace it with. You don't replace it with, I can only eat brown rice today and be in depression. No, make yourself amazing food. If you don't know, what to cook, Google it, but be inspired now, be inspired now to make yourself beautiful dairy-free smoothies. If you want things to be more creamy, avocados often offer you that option. So there are lots and lots and lots of creative options on how to cut those two foods. I would say the three foods I would stay away from are modified during this time. And you have to know your own system, because many people do fine with flour products and many people don't, are sugar, dairy, and gluten. Be aware of them, because just because we're working on staying as bright, as healthy as we can, because all of us who can stay healthy, it's our job, because the world needs us. So be well, keep your practices alive.